Alright, Strider casting back with another threes ranked game by popular demand, popular being 3 people, but still popular, I suppose. It looks like they accidentally banned Rumble this game, so they decided to pick up Riven instead. So we're going to see how well Jungle Riven does. I've actually not seen a Jungle Scion on threes before, but that could be extremely powerful. Let's see who else. Mordekaiser. Oh my gosh, Mordekaiser is so strong. So strong. The only bad thing about having Mordekaiser against this team is that they have 3 people with shields. So it's going to be very difficult to kill any of these 3 people, let alone with Mordekaiser's ult on them. Because they don't have too much burst, so they're going to get quite a few shields off during their fights. So Mordekaiser is going to have to save that ult for a while later. They do only have 1 ignite as well. Rumble typically gets the Will of the Ancients. I'm not sure if he does it on threes, so lifesteal may not be a huge issue. This is probably going to be their best bet, but Scion is probably going to go AD, I would assume, if he's jungling. So this could be a high priority target. Once his shield gets blown up, they could possibly burst that Scion down. It's very possible. With the silence from Garen and the stun and the knockup from Riven, it could be very, very doable. So let's see. Again, we have Riven, Garen, and Mordekaiser. People with big weapons. Melee people with big weapons is what the theme is. And then we have, I guess Sion. Sion's got a big weapon. Rumble, I guess his entire outfit is big. Udyr is just a beast. He goes into beast mode, and he wins games. The high mobility of the red team is going to be really, really good too, because they can all move really fast. Sion has a really fast base movement speed, which is quite surprising. And did he start with boots? He did start with boots, 3 potions. So he's going to be moving at 383. Rumble's at 370. Udyr's at 387, as opposed to Riven's 320. Mordekaiser's 365, and Garen, I think that's movement speed Quince, and possibly the movement speed in defense and in utility. It's very possible. It's not typically used. He also has Ghost, so Garen's definitely going for the high mobility, plus his Q. So Garen's the only one that's really going to be able to chase down any of these people, but Udyr has a speed buff, and Rumble has a speed buff. The only person that doesn't is Sion, but Sion has that stun that he can still kite and get around. No CC from Garen, or pretty much any. Their only form of CC is going to be this Riven, and that's her 3rd hit on her Q, and then her stun that's on a relatively long cooldown. It's not too bad, but I'm not sure if they're going to have enough CC to take down this team, because Udyr can just trade hits with all 3 of them. They get into a fight, Udyr just goes into bear stance, hits all 3 of them once, and they're all stunned. And then he can pretty much cycle through auto-attacking champions if he really wanted to. Sion has his stun, Rumble has a couple slows, so it's gonna be pretty nice. I really liked the fact that Riven just picked up this buff over here, but not actually jungling. So I think that was a really good decision on her part. Once Rumble gets a couple levels, I don't think Riven's going to be able to do that to him as much. Rumble's checking the bushes because he has not seen Garen yet. So he's going to play it very, very safe, because he knows that if he gets silenced, especially when he has a slow up and not his shield and movement speed increase, it's not going to be good times for him. Looks like Sion's going to go into the bottom jungle and see what he can do. They do see Riven here, I'm assuming, because she did get pinged. I don't see a ward or anything, though, so I'm not sure exactly how they pinged that. Unless Udyr saw her go down. Yeah, so now they pinged up here because I think they thought that she was either in this bottom part over here or up here at this buff. So, or at that camp. So Udyr's just going to continue to farm. Got Tiger Stance, which is decent. It's a great single target damage. Putting in that stun and then getting the Tiger Stance, getting a few more in there. Sion's going to come in for the stun, and that's going to be First Blood. Going to give that to Udyr instead of Sion, which is probably a good choice since Udyr was a little bit behind in the beginning there. But now with Riven dead, Udyr can catch back up. with that one kill. So it's not going to matter too much. It looks like Rumble's doing okay all by himself down here. Doesn't have too much CS as compared to the Mordekaiser, but was able to get the lane pushed to his lane, or pushed to his tower, so it's not too much of an issue there. Doesn't look like he's going to freeze the lane. Looks like he's just going to kind of push it back. So we'll see how it goes. Riven luckily was able to get back before this creep wave was completely eaten up by the tower. Levels are very important in Twisted Tree Line, just mainly because of the fact that there's not as many creeps. There's not 3 lanes to farm minions. There's really only 2. And there's already going to be 2 in bottom lane. And so the top lane, you just can't let creeps go to your tower. Just waste your experience, basically. So it looks like Rumble's still just going to play it safe, going to wait for them to push to the tower. They're just last hitting, kind of zoning them out of experience. He is a level ahead of them now, which is good. He's going to be able to get extremely powerful after a bit. It looks like Scion's coming in for another gank. Looks like another stun might come out. Yeah, it looks like it was a little bit too late, though. Garen might be coming up for an assist. I'm not sure what Garen will be able to do. He can silence the Udyr, which is alright, but it looks like they're trying to bait out this Riven. So they're going to try to get them to tower dive Riven, and then get Garen to silence one so they can't flash out, and then spin to win on both of them, which would be incredibly powerful. Looks like Rumble's actually getting pretty massively pushed out by this Mordekaiser. I'm not sure why they weren't doing this for the rest, or for the whole first part of the game. Oh yeah, so it looks like they did tower dive. Sorry, I missed that kill. But it looks like they are not going to die to this Garen like I originally thought they were going to try to do. It looks like they were able to get, yeah, they probably got the stun right here on the Riven. They were just able to flash on him and kill him. Yeah, so Udyr burned his flash to do the bear stun. So if Rumble takes any damage, Mordekaiser will get turret aggro, except for when he backs off a bit. Yeah, Rumble definitely needs to go back, because once Mordekaiser hits 6, you can just burst him down. And this is what we want to kind of avoid, because Mordekaiser can massively push lanes really, really easy. Mordekaiser is incredibly powerful in Twisted Tree Line. He's taking a couple tower shots, which is probably not good, because now he's going to have to recall. Rumble has a speed buff, so we can get back pretty quickly, maybe only lose 1 or 2 creeps. As far as mid lane goes, Udyr is still chugging along. Riven's coming up here after taking this bottom creep jungle. It looks like she's going for the top one too. But she might get... No, okay, so they did ping it, but Scion doesn't really care about that part of the jungle, I guess. Because it's a little bit risky. There's no real escape routes, because they don't know if they have this mid part warded yet. There's no ward coverage at all. Oh, there's finally... Red just put one on red buff. So that's going to be the next objective, I would assume. Looks like Mordekaiser might be going to place. Yep, Mordekaiser just put a ward down there. Let's see, Udyr has Doran's Blade and a Ninja Tabby. This is going to be great against the Riven and the Garen. He's not really going to take much of any damage. He's going to have that lifesteal sustain. I'm not sure. Let's see, Rumble has an Amplifying Tome, and yeah, that's going to be really dangerous for Rumble. Oh, that was a great shield at the end there, not to die to creeps. That was also good. We're going to try to stun this Garen. Garen might get stunned for the second time. That movement speed buff is just too strong. Wow, that was a fantastic pickup by the top lane. They were really low on mana, so they weren't really able to do anything, but they baited out his low health with the shield, and that was perfect. That's exactly what they needed to do. But they do need to back off before the other team comes back, because that is going to be very, very dangerous. Because these people are all tanky. They're all bruisers. This is a mage bruiser, but it's still bruiser. Can tank for days, and so can Garen and Riven. So all they have to do is tower dive them, and it's over, basically. It looks like Riven's actually going to go for the buff now. Oh, okay, there's only one buff, so there wasn't a buff. She's going to run into the Scion here. She's going to stun him. Scion might. Yeah, Scion looks like he's going to stun. So that'll be nice, but Riven is going to get away with not too much damage. Scion is aware that they're coming up. That was a great ping by the red team. So Riven's just going to keep farming as many creep camps as she can. Looks like they are pinging for red, so they're going to start going for red because they know one of them was probably going to back off or recall. Doesn't look like they are, though. Blue team does have this warded, so this could be dangerous, but they don't know Rumble is there. Although Rumble doesn't quite have his ult, it's really close. Scion does, but Rumble doesn't quite. It looks okay. It just came up, so they're going to be able to effectively space them out from red buff because it's just too dangerous at that point. They weren't prepared for it. They didn't have the cooldowns. They're already a little bit behind by 2k gold, actually. So that's going to be really bad for the blue team. A lot of 2k gold in Summoner's Rift isn't that much, but 8 minutes in the game, it's kind of a lot, especially when there's only 3 people on each team. That's a considerable amount of gold, and it looks like they might just try to snowball this a little bit further and further and further, especially since the blue team didn't have a jungler, so that really hurt their potential gold gain in this game without having that jungler. Oh wow, okay, so they did take out that Scion. Doesn't look like, oh yeah, okay, they did get the ghost. I didn't quite see it because it's covered by Riven. They're not actually going to go in for the free kill. They might just go, yeah, they're going to go for the dragon here. They're probably going to have the Scion Ghost tank it, or at least do a ton of damage to it. The Scion's ridiculously powerful. Rumble might ult this. No, it's going to be too late for that. Still going to ult it and try to go in for the kills. They are going to do a lot of damage. They're able to get that stun off, and they're able to take down one of those buffs. The buff that the dragon gives is just so crazy, though, because it does 8% increased damage. That's a lot of damage. You multiply that by 3, and it's just... I mean, they were behind, and now they just even it back up because they have those buffs. Even though it's only on 2 people now, it's still a considerable amount of damage, enough to where they can try to effectively snowball this game back into their favor, or at least come back from the deficit they had. It was 2k lead, now it's just a 1k lead, even though they picked up the kill. That definitely helps. Scion is going to just kind of free farm bottom a little bit. Scion did get some more items. It looks like he's going for a Ninja Tabi as well. I wonder if Rumble's going for that. Okay, so we don't know what level 2 boots Rumble's going for yet. I would assume he'd go for Sork Shoes, but you're never 100% sure. Mordekaiser looks like he's going for the Deathfire Grass, which is going to be really interesting because Deathfire Grass was incredibly powerful in 3s as well. Just that percentage damage on all these tanky people, he just negates. He's like, I don't care if you have health, I'm going to do 30% of your damage, or your health. And it just helps to nuke him down, especially with his ult and all of his other spells. It really helps. So looks like Riven is going to go for this buff again. She looks like she's able to effectively farm and get away just fine. So she does have Merc Tread, so she doesn't get stunned for nearly as long, which was a great... And I missed that again. I apologize. So yeah, they're going to have this Rumble Ghost tank it, and they're probably going to take this tower because there's nothing that Udyr is going to be able to do against 3 people, essentially. So yeah, I guess they call it purple team. I still call it red team because colorblind mode. I like red and blue instead of purple and blue. I don't even know what the other team is. Purple and green. I don't know. It'll always be red and blue for me. They're polar opposites. So yeah, it looks like their buff did go out. Even with that shield, Udyr's still able to do an insane amount of damage. So that's great for Udyr. Udyr looks like he is going to get fed. Yeah, Udyr's 5-0, so Udyr is just rocking it right now. Does have a Wriggles Lantern, so he is going to be able to kill creeps even faster. Riven is still in the jungle. She just doesn't care at this point. She just wants to get fed. She has 64 creep kills as opposed to Scion's 35 and Udyr's 60. So even though she has died 3 times, she still has more creep kills than her lane opponent. Although, you know, her lane opponent has 5 kills, so that's going to give him like 100 more CS in a sense. So Udyr is coming back in mid, so Scion can either recall. Oh, it looks like they had that timed, so if Scion does go back, this red buff is in great danger of being picked up by the blue team. So they are able to take it. He might ult. I think Scion's going to ult. They might try to get out of here. It's going to be, yeah, so Scion did ult. They don't have any stuns up yet, but it should be close. Okay, so yeah, they have the whole blue team here now. Rumble just came in. Rumble's great for these close quarter fights. So it's great. Flash stun by Udyr. Udyr is going down. It's very possible that Udyr will go down from a Garen ult. But it looks like Riven's just going to chase him down. Oh, it doesn't look like Riven's going to, actually. I could have sworn Riven was just going to follow him until she could Q a couple times, but it doesn't look like that would have happened, so... Yeah, they were able to get off. It was a 1-for-1 trade, but Riven is going to be able to solo this red buff without any problem. it's gonna be good for Riven. Riven doesn't auto attack as much as some of the other champions, but I guess she does more than Mordekaiser and Garen, so that's their best pickup. Even though Riven has died the most, she is also the most fed on their team. So she's going to be able to do a lot more damage, especially with those 3 Doran's Blades. Doran's Blades are more of an early game type of item build, but considering Twisted Tree Line games on average are about 15 to 20 minutes, it's pretty smart actually. That's why you kind of want to stray away from the Rod of Ages and items like that, because you don't actually get to get the full benefit from those items after you buy them. So Rumble doesn't have this bottom tower, so you really need to watch out, because Riven can actually gank from this side. You can go into this part of the jungle and then gank from behind, and that's really, really bad for Rumble. So Sion doesn't really care about him right now. Sion might get picked off because they don't know that Garen's in there, and they don't know Riven's there. Well, actually, yeah, they do, because they saw him pass by in the wards. They just pinged Dragon, so they know Dragon's back up. Sion's going back. That is, I don't think that's a good move, because they're going to push this wave up, and then they're just going to go straight for Dragon. And they're going to get another free Dragon. This game is going to snowball out of control in the blue team's favor. Rumble's coming up, but, oh yeah, Rumble just has his ult. He might throw it down, but I think they're going to try to wait for the Sion as much as possible. No, okay, so they're going in. Sion's not quite there. They were able to really burst down that Rumble. Very, very, very easy. I think they really needed to wait for the Sion to be here before he threw down his ult and initiate. I don't think it was necessary, but it didn't really matter too much. So yeah, at this point, they're just going to take that Dragon. Riven almost died. Oh, Sion smite stole because Riven backed off. That is not good. That was a great pickup by the red team. That was a perfect move by Sion. They didn't even think that Sion was going to be there. Sion, oh man, just went all by himself. It's because that Rumble Ghost was tanking the tower for too long. And so when Rumble teleported back over here, the last tower shot followed him, sniped him, and killed the Ghost, in a sense. So it probably would have been best if they just left the Ghost right here so they're able to distract him, kind of delay it while they killed the Dragon, or if they just had the Ghost attack the Dragon, because that would have been a lot of damage in itself. The Ghost does a lot of damage. I hate that it does so much damage. It's borderline overpowered, but I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't seen a Zillion in a Threes game in a while. I don't even know if he was banned this game either. Zillion's also considerably strong. He is kind of weak-ish because he's not as tanky as a lot of the other champions. Most people really just use bruisers, the tanky bruisers like Rumble, for tanky AP like Vladimir. You know, Mordekaiser's a great example as well. But they do have this drag buff, so it's going to be very, very dangerous for them. So Udir's just going to go in, stun one. They're going to chain stun that. It looks like Rumble is going to get focused again like he has been. Rumble really needs to get some form of armor. He does have that Will of the Ancient, so it's going to help a lot. But, oh, Riven's almost dead. If they can get one more stun off on Riven, that's going to be over. But, yeah, Garen was able to bait him off and just ghost away. Oh, that was a great stun by Riven, being able to stun and then just Q out of there. Okay, so they're just going to push top lane and try to take this tower, because they're going to force them to go back. There's not really much they can do over here. So they're pinging him like they want to tower dive, but I don't know if they will. Sion's just there, just going to zone him anyway. So that's a great tower pickup. There's a great use of Dragon. When blue team had Dragon, they took the bottom tower. Now that red team has Dragon, they picked up top tower. So I think it was a great trade. They were able to steal that Dragon, which put them back in the lead, and they were able to pick up a few kills and a tower off it. So it was a great move. I didn't think the 2v3 was a very good decision, but they were able to turn around, and I think that was great. I think they used their the blue team's cockiness against them. So okay, so oh, this is gonna be bad. So she was able to ult, but she threw it out and then just decided to run away. So Garen's going to come in, silence one, and just spin and win on both of them. Mordekaiser is going to be able to ult, and then, yeah, they're going to turn this fight around a little bit. Rumble's able to come in and do quite a bit of damage. I'm not sure if Mordekaiser can do too much. Yeah, so... Oh, that Mordekaiser lived with no health. That Ghost, I'm telling you, that Ghost does so much damage. It's it's deceptive. It's very, very, very deceptive, especially when you have their fed carry as the Ghost. 201 attack damage. It's insane. It's just you're just gonna have an Udyr in Tiger Stance romping on you for 20 seconds, and he's just able. Mordekaiser's just able to build up shield from his spells, keep himself alive, while the Ghost just punishes you for coming back in. So, yeah, I mean, blue team did a great job at turning that around. I was a little bit worried for them for a little bit, but Mordekaiser made big plays and was able to turn that fight around. And they're going to even this game up a little bit. This is a great match so far, so I'm very excited about the outcome of this game. I could not predict. I'd love to sit here and predict games and tell you it's snowballing in one team's favor, but at this point, it's so close. It can go either way. It's gonna all be dependent on who can make bigger plays. If somebody gets out of position once, the other team is able to react fast enough to capitalize on it, then that team might be able to push for the win. I mean, it's only 20 minutes, but like I said, the average game is about 25 minutes or so, 20-25 minutes. Udyr is a little bit pushed out, so Riven's going to come back with red buff, stunning him, and also silence this game. Yeah, so Mordekaiser has that Deathfire Grasp and his ult. They're just going to get a free Udyr, and then they're going to take this top tower for free. So there's nothing they can do to defend that. I think it would have been a better choice for Udyr to run towards the tower that they already have destroyed, and he could have either juked up through this, juked up around here, juked down below. There's a lot of different routes he could have went. And again, like I said, once one team gets caught out of place, it's very possible for them to push for the win. And having an exposed inhibitor is not going to be good for the purple team. Purple team, yeah, I'm going to start calling it purple team now. Deal with it. Oh, they are going to push for inhibitor. That is really bad for the red team. And since Rumble used his ult, he can't hold it off anymore. They tried to hold it off at the tower, but they were just too tanky. They can stand in his ult. He doesn't have enough AP yet. It's 136 AP. He's going to be going for a Rylai's, I think, next. And yeah, blue team's just going to fall back and take this dragon. They're going to make sure Riven has that smite up, so Riven does have smite up just to ensure that they get it. But she did smite it early, but Sion was just not able to get there in time. They have dragon. This is not a good fight to go in on. Sion, yes. I don't think that was a good initiation. But they were able to pick. Yeah, they were able to pick off Rumble and Mordekaiser Deathfire Grasp the Udyr, and now ulted him. So yeah, now they have 4 people in a sense. So it's going to be 4 versus 0. And they're just going to come over here. They're going to take this single tower. They're going to solo it. They might go for bottom. I don't know why they would go for bottom and not just win the game. But that's a tad bit confusing to me why they wouldn't just do that. But they might be able to do it with 2 people. It's possible because they do have the creeps there. They have the minions. Yeah, so they are able to take down that last tower, and they are going to win this game. Sion just came up and Rumble's about to come up. There's nothing that Sion can do by himself to fend off this attack. So that was GG. Good job, blue team, for picking up that game.
Victory!